The title is not clickbait or any sort of exaggeration. Wander Franco is 1,000% done in Major League Baseball, and yeah, the final update is officially here. His former team was taking on Carlos Rodon and the Yankees, and it's crazy to see what has happened to the Yankees and Carlos Rodon over the last month. Trey Turner, he's proven that even though he's only played a handful of games, like 50-ish, he deserves an all-star nod. Jose Ramirez became the first player ever, like in the history of baseball, to have the game that he did, and JRod, Julio Rodriguez, he might finally be waking up from his 3-month-long slump. So we're going to talk about all of that and more in today's MLB Recap. And don't forget, Recap is presented by SeatGeek. Use code Fuzzy to save 20 bucks off all of your tickets. And if you have not downloaded Underdog Fantasy, my favorite daily fantasy app, right now they are giving new users who use code Fuzzy a free Shohei Ohtani pick'em and $250 in bonus cash. Don't miss out. So before we talk about the Rays and you know who, we got to talk about a former Ray, Blake Snell, who finally looked like Blake Snell. The fastball looked lively and he got Bo to whiff at it. Yusei Kikuchi, he was pretty nasty as well. He struck out Chapman and Flores to start the second inning, make it 3 in a row. He strikes out the side in the second. 5 of the first 6 outs were via the strikeout. But you can't throw that to the first-time All-Star, Elliot Ramos. He has one of the quickest bats in all of Major League Baseball. He has 13 home runs. He's batting .302. Now, Blake is out the game, but I did want to show some of his strikeouts. He went 5 scoreless with 1 base hit, 5 strikeouts. But after he left the game, Ernie Clement ruined his chance at a W. That is a 3-run laser beam. And by the way, I just want to mention Yusei Kikuchi had 13 strikeouts. His fastball and off-speed pitches are working all night long. He's still out there in the 8th inning, and Tyler Fitzgerald tagged him. It's now a 3-2 game, so this RBI base hit from Brett Wisely ties it. It scoots past the infield. Trevor Richards, he usually has a disgusting changeup, but maybe that was a little too disgusting because it got past the catcher. The Giants, they walk it off on a wild pitch. The Blue Jays fall to 16 games back in the East, 9.5 games the wild card. Is it time to pack it in and ship out Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and others? They're bad, even though they shouldn't be bad because they have a lot of talent on paper. So, yeah, as you guys read by the title, the final Wander Franco update is in. He has been formally charged by Dominican authorities, and I can't go into full detail because YouTube will probably send me to the shadow realm and shadow ban this video, but he could be going to prison for 20 plus years. He will never play Major League Baseball ever again, and the Rays can officially void his $182 million contract extension. I kind of feel bad for Rays fans because their team finally breaks the bank. They pay someone only for this to happen. So because we talked about Blake Snell and Wander Franco, let's talk about what their former team did versus the limping Yankees. And good job, Glaber. You did it, buddy. Okay, sorry I'm being mean, but it's just not good enough, especially with how bad Carlos Rodon has been on the bump lately. And unfortunately, that didn't change. Verdugo, he couldn't handle the Randy Rocket double down the line, so Yandy, he scores all the way from first base. Ahmed Rosario, he got on, and Rodon gave up another home run. Isaac Paredes joins Elliot Ramos as first-time All-Stars to homer to start this recap. Carlos, he was 2-9 with a 2.9 ERA his first 14 starts this year. Really good. The last 5 starts, he's now 0-5 with a near 11 ERA. Opposing lineups are batting .350 against him. .350. Ryan Pepio was really good after that first inning run. He got Verdugo guessing to end the third. Rodon, he looked angry. He was pumping 99, and he ended up going 4 innings with 5 strikeouts, but Pepio, again, he was great. He struck out 7 Yankees, only allowed 1 run. Remember, he was traded for Tyler Glasnow. We'll talk about Tyler in a second because he's going to be missing some time. Ben Rice, build the statue now. He got Yankees fans buzzing. His 4th home run this week made it a 1-run game until Johnny DeLuca doubled in Siri, and staying with Jose Siri, Juan Soto, he ripped one, but nothing gets past that guy. Jose, he glides over to make the grab. Pete Fairbanks now has 15 saves. The Yankees have lost 17 of their last 23 games. Whew. So out of nowhere, the Boston Red Sox are now on the heels of the Yankees. Both teams are actually in the wild card race right now because Baltimore, they've taken the top spot in the East. Where do I even begin with this next game? So one team scored 12, the other scored 9. Joey Estes, he found himself up by 2 when David Hamilton and the Sox, they just started hammering him. David Hamilton brought home Jarren Duran, who was flying around third base. Devers, he's been an absolute megastar over the last few weeks. We're going to talk about his stats in just a moment. He drives in 2, and Sadon, the rookie, he tripled to make it 4 runs before the 3rd inning. Is that Devers again? What has he been doing? So over the last 47 games, Rafael Devers has a 305 batting average with 17 home runs and 44 RBIs. Yoshida, he had an RBI to make it 7-2, and Willier, he got them into double digits in pretty fun fashion. He breaks out of an 0 for 16 slump with a 430-foot prodigious 3-run home run. And would you look at that, Dom Smith, he made it back-to-back. He's been kind of holding his own in the absence of Tristan Casas. So that is an 8-run second inning. Brian Bayo was nasty, kind of like he did allow a few runs, but the first 10 outs that he got were via the strikeout. I don't know if that was a record. That's a Boston record, but again, it wasn't consecutive hitters, so it's not an MLB strikeouts in a row record. I did want to showcase that before we show an absolute moonshot of all moonshots. Rookie Lawrence Butler hit that baseball 457 feet. He's hitting .292 with 3 home runs to start July. Zach Geloff, he popped off as well. That is a 3-run home run to dead center. The A's have some crazy talented young players like Tyler Soderstrom, Lawrence Butler. I like Zach Geloff and Darrell Hernandez, and they're all like 25, 26 years old, but Boston, they do win 12-9, so they're 6.5 games back of first place. They're 50-40, so they're right there with the Yankees and the Twins in the wild card race. Real quick before we show Trey Turner going off against the Dodgers, I gotta show this Rockies and Reds game because another rookie, just like Lawrence Butler, went 450 plus feet. Tyler Stevenson, he's a veteran, so yeah, he's got 7 home runs, but it wasn't him. Will Benson, he's not a rookie anymore. He tagged a 3-run home run. He's officially in the double-digit home run club. Brenton Doyle, he's been in that club. He now has 12 home runs. He's going to have 13. Just give it a few moments. Michael Tolia, I guess they call him Big Mike because he's a big human named Michael, actually. He's hitting 187 with 11 home runs. Sounds like a Big Mike. Shout out to Tyler Stevenson. He roped another RBI extra base hit, but I'm going to skip to this. Rhys Hines, the rookie, he took over. He did a great job to let the ball travel. He smoked it the other way for an RBI triple. His first 3-bagger, he's only played 2 games. And remember, when I said a rookie went 450 plus feet, he almost went 460, 458 feet. He makes history. He's the first player ever to have 5 extra base hits in the first 2 games of their career, and he's the first Red ever with a home run in 2 games in the first 2 games of their career. And this Reds team is just having a lot of fun. The man who rakes, he's got 14 home runs. Spencer Steer, he pushes a 2-run home run to push the game way out of reach. But Brenton Doyle, he wanted to have some more fun. He now has 13 home runs, 20 stolen bases, 8 outs above average. He's batting .556 in July with 11 extra base hits and 11 RBIs in 8 games. He's been the best player in baseball to start July. So even though Brenton Doyle went off, the Reds do win by 6, and this next game was over before it began. Brandon Marsh, he got on with a walk and then stole second base, so now he's a duck on a pond for Rafael Marchand. Rafael brought in Marsh, and after Bobby Miller could not find the zone, 2 more ducks are on a pond for Schwarber, and he brought them both home. Marsh and Marchand, they teamed up again. This time, Johan Rojas is at the dish. Hey now, sometimes you kind of need some luck. He bounces one over Kevin Biggio at third base. Bobby Miller, he was all over the place. He walked Schwarber, so the bases are loaded for Trey. They're not loaded anymore because Trey just unloaded them. He's hitting .342 with 6 home runs and 18 RBIs in the 19 games since coming off the IL. Bryson, my friend, off the Toyota sign, 432 feet for the Vegas product. What happens if he starts going off because the power is kind of down for him this year? And I'll show this for LA fans because Kevin Biggio, that's his first as a Dodger. Wheeler, he had 7 strikeouts, just that 1 run, but he's out after 5 with some back issues. Marshy, he had a huge game. He got on base 3 times. He stole the bag. He went yard. The Phillies, they boat raced the Dodgers 10-1, and staying with the pitcher who had some back issues. Glaz, now he's going to be on the shelf after allowing 5 runs and back-to-back starts. They're saying it's a back thing, but to me, it kind of sounds like a phantom IL situation because he's never thrown this many innings in 1/2, and they really need him for the playoffs, although he did make his first ever All-Star team, so maybe I'm being dramatic and reaching with my phantom IL take, but hopefully Glass now comes back healthy and better than ever in the second half. So the same sort of thing happened in this next game, only the Pirates beat the brakes off Milwaukee of all teams. Ryan Reynolds, I don't know if he's gonna get some MVP votes, but he might get a few, because after this 2-run home run, he's batting .316 with 25 extra base hits and 39 RBIs over his last 50 games. Milwaukee, cool, they did a nice job to bounce back as Contreras, he doubled in Chourio, and Perkins, he ties it. But again, Pittsburgh, they won by a lot. Back-to-back games with the Grand Slam, not for the Pirates, but in this recap. Joey Bart with the Grand Slam, he now has 5 home runs and a 125 OPS plus, and check this out, Rowdy, He just tattooed his 100th career home run, so it's 9-2 Pittsburgh, make it 10-2 Captain Jack with the Cannonball, Jack Sawinski. He now has 9 home runs, and Joshua Palacios, he goes upper deck for their 5th home run of the day. Pittsburgh, they lead baseball with 23 home runs over the last 15 days, but because it's real-life baseball, there's no mercy rule. They do go the full 9. They've now won 2 games in a row, and they're 3 games back of a wild card spot. So we've talked about the Yankees and some NL Central teams, so let's go find the Cubs at the Orioles, and I'm going to trim a good amount of this game because it started with Michael Busch crushing another home run. He's got 12 home runs, 15 doubles, and a 134 OPS plus. The Dodgers, they're kind of regretting this trade, although Zaire Hope, who they got, he's looking pretty legit, honestly. Jordan Westburg, he homered after Chicago got a second run on a Tomas Nido sac fly. He's replacing Rafael Devers, so he's a first-time All-Star. I guess Rafi wants to rest his shoulder. Jordan now has 15 home runs and a 140 OPS plus. The Orioles have 18 of these dudes. Seiya, he answered with an RBI. He scores Bellinger right before Swanson made it 4-1 on a ground out. And by the way, Swanson's been stealing money. He's hitting like 2-something with a 71 OPS plus. Okay, sorry. Look at Miles Mastroboni. He's been making web jams left and right, at least the last week or two in the recaps. A run does score for Baltimore, but that was it. Ian Happ, he's a man on a mission. He wants to show that he can get it done on both sides consistently. He ends the third with a web gem. He then steps in and lifts a 3-run bomb moments later. He's got 12 home runs and 41 RBIs over his last 39 games. Jameson Taillon, he was great. He held the loaded Baltimore lineup to just 2 runs. He struck out 7 as well over 6 strong frames. The Cubs got 2 more on the board. They almost got to double digits after Seiya laced a double. Nico, he made it 9-2, but I'm going to skip to this MLB debut. Harvard graduate Hunter Biggie, he was throwing Ched. He goes 1-2-3. His family was in attendance. You gotta love those kinds of clips. Coming up next, we have one of the more stressful regular season games I've experienced in quite some time. Like, look at what my team did to me. Hopefully, by the way, you guys listened and picked up Angel Martinez. He just ripped his first big league home run. Josh Naylor, goodbye. Josh is also a first-time All-Star. He's got 22 home runs and inching so close to 70 RBIs. J-Ram, like we said in the intro, he became the first human ever to have 3 base hits, 3 intentional walks, and 2 stolen bases in one game. That's a 1-of-1 game right there. Andres Gimenez, he laced a huge 2-run double, so you're probably thinking, Fuzzy, why was this stressful? Because toe tap Colt Keith is a monster. He smashed a 2-run home run. He's hitting .414 with 4 home runs and 7 RBIs over his last 7 games. We skip to the 6th. Gio Urshela also went yard in the blink of an eye. Gio's 3-run 4-bagger makes it a 1-run game, and now it's tied. Great, awesome. The rookie Justin Henry Malloy, he ties it. That's his 5th home run in his first 82 at-bats. He's got power for days. This game is going to need extras. Josh, there you go, 70 RBIs on the season. He blooped one in moments before Rocchio lifted a sac fly. Quan, he just got ahead of that pretty nice throw from Riley Green, if I might say so, and thank goodness that happened because Detroit, they also had a sac fly, so it's back to a 1-run game. Malloy, he lasers one right to Tyler Freeman. Never do that again, please. I almost stopped watching, and then I had to keep on watching, and it was stressful. The Mets nearly pulled a Cleveland because watch how this game unfolded, especially the later half of the game. Now, it started off pretty much like the last one. Lindor, he makes it 1-0. Brandon Nimmo, he is making his contract look like an absolute steal. Another multi-RBI home run. The ball just kept on carrying and carrying. He's hitting .353 with 8 home runs and 26 RBIs his last 21 starts. Francisco, he's going to cartwheel into the Hall of Fame. He's already at 50 F4, 231 home runs, 172 stolen bases, 128 outs above average. He's going to end up with 350 home runs and an over 70 WAR. Jose Quintana, he looked borderline unhittable. He allowed 1 base hit, over 7 shutout, and 5 strikeouts. And by the way, he's allowed 3 earned runs since June 15th. The Nationals, they were really happy to see him go as Ildemaro Vargas jolted a 2-run home run. The Boo Birds were out. New York fans are they're a different breed. They're booing even if they're winning. Jeff McNeil, he gave them something to cheer about, and a little deja vu in the 9th inning. A base hit was followed up by a 2-run home run. Kyber Ruiz, a 2-run blast makes it 7-4. A wild pitch made it 7-5. So New York, they had to kind of panic. They deployed Edwin Diaz. He gets 1 out for the save. The Mets, they're 1.5 game back of a wild card spot. That's in large part because the Padres had a tough outing versus the Mariners, and JRod maybe had his biggest game in a while. He singles in JP Crawford, and he wasn't done. Wait for it. Cal Raleigh, he wanted some shine. This is some serious thump and power. Do you know how strong you have to be to get fooled, but you still go yard by throwing a barrel at got the ball. That was Cal's first of 2 home runs, but we got to shift gears to Julio. JRod, he is heating up, everyone. That's his 3rd base hit of the day. He goes to the 2nd deck. He grabbed his 4th base hit. He gets on for Cal Raleigh. By the way, we're in the 7th now, and Cal, he's ridiculous. He has 17 home runs already this year. He had 30 last year and 27 the year prior. The Mariners, they won big as Logan was cruising, but then he ran into some trouble as Cronenworth, he belted a home run, and Higashioka, he now has a career-high 11 home runs, and this is kind of funny. Since June 1st, Kyle Higashioka has 10 home runs and 24 RBIs. Juan Soto has 6 home runs and 14 RBIs. It means nothing, but the Mariners, they're the first in the AL West to 50 Ws. It's just that the Astros and the Rangers will not give them a break lately because they're winning every single game. Jazz Chisholm Jr., he pimped a leadoff home run. He's got 11 home runs and 18 stolen bases. Houston, they got to scoring as well. Jake Myers, he scored on a Chas McCormick RBI flare, and Bregman, he took advantage of Chaz's stolen base in the 5th inning. So Bregman, he blooped in another RBI. He grabs the lead is gone now. Jesus Sanchez, he went to the Crawford boxes, 344 feet to tie it up. Now, I will say, Ronel Blanco was still very good. He had 7 strikeouts, just like Logan Gilbert. I forgot to mention that in the last game. Ronel has a 2.5 ERA over 17 starts, and now he's going to improve to 9-3 on the season because Breggy bombs, they were back. Alex, he jolts a 2-run home run for a big 2-run lead, and the 2nd run proved to be huge because Jazz, he made it a 1-run game. Brian Abreu has not looked like himself this year. He's been decent. Same with Josh Hader. They've both not looked themselves this year, but thankfully it was one of those nights where Hader locked in. He did look right for once. 2 strikeouts, no base hits. He has 16 saves. The Astros are 2 games back of the Mariners. But both the Mariners and the Astros can't really afford to take their foot off the gas because the Rangers are on fire right now. Josh Smith, he tried to bunt twice, and of course, this happened next. He goes yard. That's his 8th of the year. By the way, he had 3 base hits in this one. Ohapi, he's got 13 home runs now. He actually hit 2 off of Max Scherzer. Do not go anywhere. Now, the Rangers did bounce back. Their fan base has to be really happy that Marcus Semien is starting to find his groove. That's an RBI double. Again, Josh Smith had 3 base hits. That's his 2nd one. He singled in another run. He can do no wrong this year. Wyatt Langford, he lifted a huge sac fly for the 4th run, and it's huge because the Halos, they fought right back and they scored 3 to tie it. Sean Uell, he line went to center. He scores Rendon, and then he scored after Derek Hill missed it. Nolan, he was initially held up, but then because Derek Hill missed it, he scores easy, and Logan Ohapi, he ties it. He has 14 on the year and 28 home runs over his last 129 games. If Logan ever fixes his defense, either this offseason or the next, he will be one of the best catchers in baseball. Easy. I mean, he already is. Adolis, he wins it. He knew it instantly. His 17th home run seals it as Kirby Yates. He's been as locked in as he's ever been. Back-to-back strikeouts for his 14th save. The Rangers, they've won 5 games in a row, and they're 5.5 games back of the Mariners. You're about to see something that you may never see again. So Atlanta went up 1 after Sean Murphy grounded out to score Ozuna, and Ketel Marte dropped a baseball with 2 outs as well. Ketel has 11 defensive run saves and 8 outs above average, so he's as sure-handed as it gets, and you just can't really afford that with Chris Sale on the bump, and you can't afford that one either. Zach Gallen left a curveball right in Adam Duvall's wheelhouse, and 441 feet later, the Braves are up 5-0. Back-to-back games, by the way, with a home run for Duvall, both against righties. So on the season, he has an 18 OPS plus versus righties. Cool. Chris Sale was fantastic through 5, but he had some trouble in the 6th inning. Jake McCarthy, he went lefty-lefty, not for a home run, but he lasers a RBI triple, and Arizona scratched across 1 more, but Atlanta, they got that run right back, or at least the 2nd run on a triple of their own. Eli White, he's still one of the fastest humans in baseball. He was top 2% in 2021 and 2022. The Braves, why am I running out of breath? The Braves win 6-2, and before we end this recap, I have to show off Chris Sale's 9 strikeouts over his 5 1/3. He has 136 strikeouts on the year and 2,325 for his entire career. I need him to get to 3,000. I think that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but that's just my opinion. And I say that because, honestly, to me, he's going to get to 3,000 strikeouts, and I think he's going to win his first Cy Young this year. It might happen unless his teammate Ronaldo Lopez beats him. Before we show the web gems, you guys really seem to like that guess the batting stance game. So today's batting stance, I'm almost positive this is Bryce Terang because I see the huge bat knob, and I'm pretty sure this was a grand slam. So if I can guess this right, I know it's Bryce with an I, Bryce Terang. It should be him. I don't think I'm ever going to get a hitter wrong, but pitchers might be a different story. Oh, who is that? I know who this is. That has to be Kevin Gausman, right? Is that Kevin Gausman? I'm pretty sure it's Kevin Gausman. I think it's Kevin Gausman. Yeah. 2 for 2 today. Let's go. That is Kevin Gosman. Well, that does it for today's recap. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Again, thank you so much for supporting the series, growing the game of baseball. I could not do this without you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the web gems.
Fly ball center field, and shoestring.
Oh, jab shot here, right field. Time there, takes. Oh, it hit him on the ankle. And a great play.
Payoff. Going to right. Outman comes in and secure.
And up the middle. Oh, nice slick play by Nick Gonzalez.
High bouncer off the plate. Coming in for it is Drury. He's called off. Neto, bare hand throw. In